open, right? Like they'll run the broadcast open, right? Same as like. From Spring Lake Park High School, time for high school swimming and diving tonight once again on North Metro TV. Second time this year we've got the swimming and diving here on tap, and this time it'll be our first from the pool at Spring Lake Park. We are pool deck side right here just off of lane 7. J.W. Cox with you, Rand's on the camera, and Katie's back in the studio, and we've got more swimming and diving come. We saw the first Centennial meets of the season late last week. They picked up a victory. Spring Lake Park rolling into this one as the home team as well. So the Spring Lake Park Panthers and the Centennial Cougars here at Spring Lake Park. As always, we'll show you the JV and the varsity of all these, and we'll get started with the 200-yard medley relay. Glad you're with us. Lanes 2 through 6 here, lanes 3 through 6 rather, for this first junior varsity matchup. The Spring Lake Park squad of Becker, Wicks, Albrecht, Santiago in to start with the backstroke in lane 3, and then 3 Cougar squads: Cregan, Stokeland, Murray, Finnerty in lane 4, Short, Dorweiler, Manthe, Taylor in lane 5, Bryant, Clark, Degree, and Salata in lane 6. Lane 3, the furthest away from our camera as you see it there, and in lane 4, Caleb Cregan, the 8th grader, out to a good start on the backstroke as he opens up a lead for that number 1 JV relay squad. The other 3 in lockstep right there. Eli Becker, just a 9th grader, starting the backstroke on this JV run. Zach Short and Charlie Bryant also in the pool in lanes 5 and 6. For Centennial, Cregan first to touch. That sends Evan Stokeland, the junior, into the pool with a strong lead and a great dive to keep that lead rolling, as he has the breaststroke leg of this. Every second swimmer in the pool, including Isaac Wicks, just a 7th grader for Spring Lake Park. We'll have the varsity version of this 200 medley coming up. Dorweiler and Clark. Dorweiler just making his turn back. Clark in lane 6. And the first one in for the fly for Centennial in lane 4 is Joseph Murray, another 8th grader. And a good time being posted so far by that lane 4 squad for the Cougars in this JV matchup. Back comes Joseph Murray as Grayson Albrecht, the 9th grader, is in for Spring Lake Park over in lane 3. In lane 5, Jaden Manthe, another 8th grader. He's got the butterfly leg. And just going in, Jacob Degree, an 8th grader, in lane 6 for Centennial. And to bring it home, Derek Finnerty, he's a 9th grader on the freestyle. He's in lane 4, and that's pacing things so far in the 200 medley relay on the JV side here at the Spring Lake Park pool. Glad you're with us on North Metro TV. And it'll be a strong start for the junior varsity squad of Cregan, Stokeland, Murray, and Finnerty, as Finnerty will touch up a time of 2:16.19. And that will win it in lane 3. Spring Lake Park comes in second as Sebastian Santiago brings it home. Next will be lane 5 as Jacob Taylor, the sophomore, touches up. And then lane 6, Tyler Salata, the 9th grader, to bring it home. Winning time in lane 4, 2:16.19 for the Centennial Cougars. Cregan, Stokeland, Murray, and Finnerty on the JV side. In lane 3 with a time of 2:24.8. Becker, Wicks, Albrecht, and Santiago in lane 5 with a time of 2:33.68. That would be Short, Dorweiler, Manthe, and Taylor. And Salata pushing his way to the pad there with a time of 3:07:45 for Charlie Bryant, Garrett Clark, Jacob DeGree, and Tyler Salata. And that is your 200-yard medley relay for the JV. Expecting this one to be a tight varsity meet. We'll have 5 teams in the 200 medley relay between Spring Lake Park and Centennial. It'll start in lanes 2 and 3 with the Centennial teams, or excuse me, the Spring Lake Park teams. Trutwin, Erdahl, Hendrickson, and Holmquist in lane 2. Krotzer, Ripken, Pravatsky, and Starcevich in lane 3. Then 3 200 medley squads for Centennial. Larkin, Shire, Goulet, and Condon. Atkinson, Lohr, Lehman, and Washburn in lane 5. Stevenson, Schaefer, Herrera, and Herbricksmeyer in lane 6. So Trutwin, Krotzer in lane 2 and 3 in the pool for the backstroke, along with Larkin in lane 4 for the Cougars, Atkinson in lane 5, and Stevenson in lane 6. And away we go, the first varsity events of this Northwest Suburban Conference showdown, and they are tight, coming right off the blocks there on this first leg of the backstroke. It is a slight lead in lane 3 for Krotzer as he'll turn first at the wall. See if he maintains that off the push, and he sure does. He opens it up by about a body length there. He's trailed in lane 5 by Atkinson. Next closest, but this is a good grouping here all the way across 2 through 6. First into the pool goes Ripken in lane 3. Then Shire in lane 4. Lohr in lane 5. Cross in lane 1, it's Erdahl and Schaefer in lane 6 for the Cougars. Everyone on to the second stroke here, the breaststroke in the medley. And the good lead for Ripken as he has extended what's been a lead throughout this event so far. Braden Ripken, he's just a 10th grader. He's about to touch the wall and send Will Pravatsky, a junior, in. Pravatsky with the butterfly. So he has the lead out in lane number 3. The next squad in lane 4 with Liam Goulet into the pool for the butterfly for the Cougars. But he's got some catching up that they'll have to do to close with Condon v. Starcevich. Pravatsky in, Starcevich, the dive over. Condon ready to do the same and try and make up some ground on the free. He'll push for that second place. Of course, points awarded to everyone here as there's 5 teams. And it will be a going away victory as Starcevich opens up that lead and finishes strong in lane number 3. 147.98 up on the board right now. 2 Centennial squads coming down to it as Condon just out touches Washburn in lane 4. Lane 4's time 155.15 for the team of Larkin, Shire, Goulet, and Condon. Lane 5, 156.91. That's Atkinson, Lohr, Lehman, and Washburn. The winners in lane 3 of Krotzer, Ripken, Pravatsky, and Starcevich with a 147.98. And so the Cougars take the 2, 3, and 5 spots. And the top spot and the 4th spot go to Spring Lake Park. So Krotzer, Ripken, Pravatsky, and Starcevich put the time of 147.98. That brings us to the 200 freestyle for the JV. All Cougars, lanes 4 through 7. 7 to be the exhibition. So in lane 4, Caden Herrera, a 9th grader. Joseph Murray in lane 5. Evan Stokeland in lane 6. And then Jacob Taylor right down in front of us in lane 7. So 4 Cougar JV swimmers here. Of the 3 non-exhibition, it's that top lane in Caden Herrera has the early advantage as he makes that turn first. But a good exhibition be putting out there by the sophomore Jacob Taylor in lane 7. JV 200 freestyle, varsity 200 freestyle to follow with 3 swimmers apiece for each team. Glad you're with us. Just underway here from the Spring Lake Park Pool on North Metro TV. Caden Herrera, who we saw running some longer races last Thursday. Spring Lake Park ended up besting Champlin Park. Don't forget, you can go to northmetrotv.com. We're covering as many sports as we can, both on a given day and then throughout this winter season, knowing that there's some restrictions on fans and who can be where, when. So bringing that to you, we've got the full schedule at northmetrotv.com. Herrera maintains the lead out in lane number 4. Murray in second in lane 3. Stokeland and Taylor in lane 6 and 7, going stroke for stroke. The 200-yard freestyle at the junior varsity here, just event number 3. We'll have the varsity 200 free coming up, leading you into the individual medley, both JV and varsity, then the 50, in which we'll have a JV and a varsity, and then the diving comes up. Riley McNamara will dive for the Cougars. Luke Elsesser, Monan Abusara, and Sebastian Santiago, the 3 divers for Spring Lake Park, before we get into that second closing half of the meets. And Herrera finishes off what he started, a time of 2:28.41 to come in first place in this JV matchup. Joseph Murray will come in and touch second with a time of 2:38.11. Evan Stokeland in third with a 2:39.95. And an exhibition time in lane 7 for Jacob Taylor of 2:47.93. So that will turn us to the varsity version of this event. Lanes 1 through 6, first 3 lanes. Lane 1, Andrew Weffel for Spring Lake Park. Griffin Gaspersich for the Panthers, and Sam Clark in lane 3. Aiden Gillen for the Cougars in lane 4. Quentin Lehman in lane 5, and Ben Condon here for the 200 freestyle in lane 6. Ready on the 200 free, and away we go. Out quickly in lanes 3 and 4. Your top matchup so far there for Sam Clark for the Panthers and Aiden Gillen for the Cougars. Both go into their turn nearly simultaneously and come out of it stroke for stroke as well. So the battle brewing in lane 3 and 4. And then fairly even across in the far 2 lanes with Weffel and Gaspersich and Lehman and Condon on the near side. Watching the turn again for Clark and Gillen. And this time it's Clark who just edges out ahead slightly, but Gillen knifing through smoothly there, able to close that narrow gap. And then the 2 swimmers for the other teams in the other 2 lanes going 1-2 right with each other as well. But the lead and the race is in lanes 3 and 4. Sam Clark for the Panthers and Aiden Gillen for Centennial. Those turns have been key. Clark has come out with that push off the wall and into the wall, just slightly ahead a couple of times. Gillen has stayed with it by closing while in the pool. Top battle for the top 2 spots coming down to Clark and Gillen. And right now Clark has about a half a body lead on him coming to the wall. Headed for that last down and back. And the lead is opened up for Sam Clark. 200 free, it's a long-standing record here for Spring Lake Park, a 142.67. That was all the way back in 1999. Cougars set a record in this last year, 147.37. Clark coming to the wall. He will touch for the win in lane 3 with a time of 157.48, 159.83 for Gillen. Third in lane 2 for Griffin Gaspersich. Fourth in lane 1 for Andrew Weffel. Fifth in lane 6 for Ben Condon, and sixth in lane 5 for Quentin Lehman. So top points again go to Spring Lake Park with Sam Clark's time of 1:57.48. Just edging out Aiden Gillen at 1:59.83. And that will send us to the junior varsity boys, to the boys 200 individual medley, the junior varsity. 3 swimmers, Isaac Wicks for Spring Lake Park in lane 3, Max Shire in lane 4 for the Cougars, and Caleb Cregan in lane 5. So the individual medley 200 on the JV side is underway. Through those first 2 varsity events, Spring Lake Park opening up a narrow lead, 19-13. Took the top spot in the 200 medley and the 200 free. Now on to the 200 individual medley at the junior varsity level before we'll have a full pool again for that same junior varsity matchup. In lane 4, the early lead for Max Shire, the sophomore from Centennial. The other 2 swimmers, Wicks in lane 3 and Caleb Cregan in lane 5, running together on this backstroke. But it's Shire out in front. Teammates standing around cheering their teams on here as best they can from the distances they are. Watching right now in lane 4, the lead for Shire continue to grow. Shire into his second stroke. Lane 5, Caleb Cregan has the lead on Isaac Wicks for second place in this JV matchup. Minute 50 gone by. Wicks has almost the entirety of the team waiting at that end for him. Shire into the freestyle. And he's going to post a time, a strong time, ahead of those other 2 swimmers. Caleb Cregan urged ahead. And he'll touch in with a time of 2:30.75 to take this junior varsity matchup here in the individual medley. Next up for the Cougars, Caleb Cregan with a time of 2:56.84. And with a time for Isaac Wicks of 3:10.02 in third. So 2:30.75 for Max Shire wins the JV 200-yard individual medley. The boys 200-yard IM coming up. So as mentioned, we'll have 6 swimmers. Miles Erickson in lane 1 for the Panthers. Nathan Krotzer in lane 2 and Nick Starcevich in lane 3. In the Cougar lanes, in lane 4, George Atkinson. In lane 5, Liam Kool-Aid. And in lane 6, Josh Ardall. Erickson, Krotzer, and Starcevich in the 200 medley. And Atkinson, Kool-Aid, and Ardall for the Cougars. Panthers, Coach Greg Kugler. Spring Lake Park grad and coach since the early 90s. Swam in college, as did his opponent tonight in the coaching side. Coach Pete Crawford in his second season for the Cougars as the head swim and dive coach. underway in the 200 individual medley. And the lead early to Nick Starcevich in lane 3. George Atkinson in lane 4 on his tail. His own teammate Nathan Krotzer in lane 2, a good start as well. The Cougars, Liam Goulet and Josh Ardahl in lanes 5 and 6 made up some ground, but it is the lead for Starcevich. Starcevich churning for that first touch, back where he started. He'll push strong. George Atkinson. In fact, it's actually Liam Goulet who gets into the backstroke a little bit before Atkinson, but they're running right there 2 and 3 behind Starcevich. In lane 3, he's got the lead. Back the other way on the backstroke. In lane 2, Nathan Krotzer has taken the lead on Atkinson and Goulet in lanes 4 and 5. So getting close in behind the leader, Starcevich, as well. Miles Erickson over in lane 1. Coming down to the end of his backstroke. Still the lead in lane 3 for Starcevich. And Goulet and Krotzer late in lane 5 and Krotzer in lane 2. Right in time with one another. So it's Starcevich's race right now with the freestyle remaining. As he'll hit the wall, and then Goulet and Krotzer fighting for those key points at the end. Difference between second and third. And it's Goulet starting into the freestyle with a little bit of an edge. It's Starcevich already on his way back to finish. Goulet swimming once more, just a shade ahead of Krotzer. Looking to have an angle on that second place finish as Starcevich heads for the wall. Starcevich will touch with a time of 2:14.22 to win it. And then it is Goulet in second with a time of 2:17.55. Over in lane 2, Nathan Krotzer takes third. In lane 6, fourth place for Josh Ardahl. In lane 4, fifth place for George Atkinson. And in lane 1, Miles Erickson finishes up with a 2:35.62. So 2:35.62 for Erickson, 2:18.89 for Krotzer, 2:14 the winning time for Starcevich. Atkinson with a 2:25.02, Goulet with a 2:17.55, and Josh Ardahl with a final time of 2:24.79. On to the JV in the 50 free. Two of the top 3 spots in that 200 individual medley to Spring Lake Park has them up 28-20 here unofficially in the meets as the 50 free for the JV underway. Eli Becker in lane 2 for the Panthers. Grayson Albrecht in lane 3. For Centennial swimmers, Derek Finnerty, Charlie Bryant, and Zach Short in lanes 4, 5, and 6. And then Jaden Manthe running an exhibition in lane 7. And the lead in lane 4 for Finnerty. Finnerty trying to hold off challenges in lane 3 from Grayson Albrecht, and he will do that. Albrecht comes in second, and Eli Becker in third over in lane 2. And so a tight race. First place for Derek Finnerty with a time of 29:31 as he edges out Grayson Albrecht with a time of 30:37. Third place goes to Zach Short in lane 6 with a time of 31:20. Fourth place in lane 2 for Eli Becker with a time of 32:16. Fifth place in lane 5 with a time of 33:43 for Charlie Bryant. And sixth place in lane 7 with that exhibition time of 34:31 for Jaden Manthe. And now the 50 free on the varsity side. We will have 6 swimmers plus an exhibition in lane 7. Sean Erdahl in lane 1. Nolan Hendrickson in lane 2. Braden Ripken in lane 3 for Spring Lake Park. Hunter Belting, Josh Washburn, Alex Larkin in lanes 4, 5, and 6 respectively for Centennial. And then Connor Herbricksmeyer will swim in lane 7 in this 50 free as an exhibition. So points out there to be had. As we saw last Thursday, as we covered the meet, the 50 free went to Hunter Belting with a time of 22:73. He was the top Cougar swimmer that day in the event. Josh Washburn and Quentin Lehman also running in that. Washburn with a time of 25.1. And that took third. Waiting for the timer to be ready. And in for our final event before we take the pause before the swimming or before the diving. We'll have 4 divers. But first the 50 free with Spring Lake Park up early at 28:20 through the first 3 varsity events. .50 freestyle. Keep an eye on Hunter Belting in lane 4, certainly for Centennial, and he'll look to be challenged by Braden Ripken. On the boards and in the 50 free, and Belting out into the lead early. He's got Josh Washburn, his teammate, right on his hip. He's opened up a little bit of a lead on Braden Ripken. Belting, he'll push off the wall, and he's swimming again first, followed closely by Ripken, then Washburn. Lane 4, Hunter Belting. Hunter Belting touches up. The time of 22:66. Then in lane 3, it's Braden Ripken with a time of 24:43, followed closely by Josh Washburn in lane 5 with a time of 25:34. In lane 6, Alex Larkin takes a time of 25:83 for 4th place. 5th place in the non-exhibitions would go to lane 2 for Nolan Hendrickson, with a time of 26:29. And then in lane 1, Sean Erdahl with a time of 26:67. Actually the 5th best time in that exhibition run for Connor Herbrickson, as he went with a time of 26:08. Again, the winning time, 22:66 for Hunter Belting. 2nd place goes to Spring Lake Park's Braden Ripken with a time of 24:43 as they'll start to get set for the dive event. And we will take our first break, and we will come back when we are ready for the diving. We'll have 4 divers, 3 for the Panthers and 1 for the Cougars. That's up next as we're at Spring Lake Park at the pool for Swim and Dive here on North Metro TV. Back with you inside at Spring Lake Park High School. Swim and dive between the Centennial Cougars and Spring Lake Park Panthers. We're about to get the diving portion started, as we will have divers from each school. Luke Elsesser, a junior diver from Spring Lake Park. Mohanad Abu Sara, a senior diver from Spring Lake Park. And Sebastian Santiago, just an 8th grader diving for the Panthers. And then Riley McNamara for Centennial. So far, here in this meet, it was Spring Lake Park and the team of Kratzer, Ripken, Pravatsky, and Starcevic taking the 200 medley relay to get things started with a time of 1:47.98. They had 2 of the top 3 spots in that, with 3rd place going to the team of Trutwin, Erdahl, Hendrickson, and Holmquist. Cougars took 2nd with Larkin, Shire, Goulet, and Condon. Actually, excuse me, they took 3rd. Trutwin, Erdahl, Hendrickson, and Holmquist took 4th. Atkinson, Lohr, Lehman, and Washburn took 5th. Stevenson, Schaefer, Herrera, and Herbricksmeyer taking the final spot for the Cougars. In the 200 freestyle, That one also went to Spring Lake Park with Sam Clark, putting in a time of 157.48, edging out Aiden Gilland of the Cougars. Spring Lake Park taking the top spot in each of the first two events. In the 200 individual medley, it was again the Panthers up top with Nick Starcevich with a time of 2:14.22. Liam Goulet took second with a time of 2:17.55 for Centennial. They were followed by Nathan Krauser for Spring Lake Park in third, Josh Ardall in fourth for Centennial. Fifth place to George Atkinson of the Cougars and Miles Erickson in sixth. Then in the 50 freestyle, our last individual race before the dive, it was Centennial and Hunter Belting with a time of 22.66, taking the top spot. Braden Ripken followed him for Spring Lake Park. Then Josh Washburn for Centennial. Alex Larkin for Centennial. Nolan Hendrickson took fifth for Spring Lake Park, and Sean Erdahl took sixth. And now to the dive, almost set and ready to go. Belting's 22.66, besting what he put up in the first meet at 22.73 to win that one. Guy that continues to move on. Just giving a little extra information on the dive. So we'll see from these four. Riley McNamara of the Cougars visitor will actually dive first once we're set here at Spring Lake Park. Again, NorthMetroTV.com. That's where you can get the full schedule for everything we're going to cover here throughout the winter. Also links to our YouTube page where you can find full episodes of Sports Den, which has a new episode airing every Monday. So we'll bring that to you with all the highlights as well. Riley McNamara be the first diver. McNamara the only diver for Centennial. His first dive. Score of 4-5, 4-0, and 5. Mohanad Abu Sara double checking the dive that was called. Senior for Spring Lake Park. Two seniors getting it started. First of his 5 dives. Each of these divers with 5. Judges looking at the approach, the takeoff, the technique in the air, and the water entry. 4-5, 4-5, and 4-0. Making sure they get the right dives called out there. This is Sebastian Santiago, just an 8th grader. in for his first dive. 2 5s and a 5.5. And the final diver, the junior Luke Elsesser. Elsesser the approach, and into the water for dive number 1. Must perform 6 different dives throughout the meets. That 0 up there is a 5, so 5s across the board for Elsesser the first time through. Brings up Riley McNamara. McNamara's second dive. 5, 3, 5, and 5. And the second go round for Abu Sara. Just working out the scoring system before we get Abu Sara's second dive. .2 degree of difficulty. Abu Sara's second. 4, 4, and 4.5. Second dive for Sebastian Santiago, the 8th grader. Five, 5.5, 4.5. Luke Elsesser with a 2.4 degree of difficulty dive coming up. Tremendous looking dive. Three and a half, 5, 5.5. That brings us back to Riley McNamara for dive number 3. McNamara's third. Fours across the board. 1.5 degree of difficulty dive for Abusara coming up. Five, 6, and 5.5 for Abusara's third dive. .5 degree of difficulty on dive number 3 for Sebastian Santiago. Waiting on his scores. He's had 5s across the board for the most part of those first 2 dives. His best 5.5, 5.5 on his first. And on this 1.5 degree of difficulty, straight 5.5s for Santiago. Spring Lake Park brings in Luke Elsesser. He started his diving round with straight 5s on his first. Clean there as he pops up. He draws great applause. 5.5, 5.5, and 6. Just the second 6 awarded by this judging trio so far. And go back to McNamara for his fourth. Quickly into it for Riley McNamara. The other 6, by the way, was on the third dive just moments ago by Abusara. So 2 Panthers with high scores, 5.5 all the way across for all 3 scores for McNamara in his fourth dive. Abusara's fourth dive. 5, 4, and 5.5. Sebastian Santiago. Santiago's fourth dive. Already with a score of 84.1. His fourth, 6, 5.5, 5.5 to the score of 121.50. Fourth dive for Elsesser. 5.5, 5.5, and 6. Back-to-back, same score for Elsesser. 125-65, it would appear on the score. Back to McNamara for his 5th. Five and a half, 5. Back to the 5th dive for Abusara. Five, 5.5, and 5. Santiago. His 5th dive. Pulled his first 6 on that 4th dive. High degree of difficulty there for him. So he'll get rewarded on the scoring sum for that. Three, 3, and 1. And the 5th for Elsesser. Elsesser had the inside track on taking this top spot. 5, 5.5, 5.5. Final dive coming up. Six, 6, 5.5. Sends him to 205.75. Back to Abusara. Three, 2, and 4, 148.15. Sebastian Santiago's final dive. Four and a half across the board. And here comes Elsesser. Final dive here for the varsity diving portion. Difficult twist maneuver for Elsesser. Three, 2.5, showing 0. And that will conclude the diving. We'll try and find some official final tallies. As I wasn't looking at things incorrectly, it would seem that Riley McNamara consistently through with some of those final scores, but we'll see if we can't track down the final tallies on those as we take another break. Diving complete. We'll come back with more individual and relays to close things down here between Centennial and Spring Lake Park. Butterfly, the 100 butterfly, comes up next. That'll be the varsity butterfly, an OJV fly here in this meet today. But we'll pause and come back after this here to Spring Lake Park High School with swim and dive between the Panthers and the Cougars tonight on North Metro TV. Back with you inside the pool at Spring Lake Park High School. The Panthers and Cougars, and through the diving portion, still tight, which not unexpected for the coaching staffs. 42-35. Gotta love the Panther diving scoreboard up there. I'm trying to keep a running tally. I always call it unofficial. Thanks to all of you for tuning in and having the patience with someone who is, you know, getting up to speed, hopefully, on the sport. But we're bringing more and more of these to you this year, so a chance to do that. And I appreciate the help of all the coaches. Last time when we got this started at Centennial, big time thanks and help from Josh Washburn, one of the captains for the Centennial Cougars, making sure I was set with everything. Josh has run some good races as well. And we're happy to get these athletes this coverage, and hope to continue that throughout the winter. So we are through the diving portion of the meet. And that 7-point spread right there in the race to 94. That's something I did not know last meet. Coach Crawford setting me straight on that. Once a team gets to 94, that's when the counting stops for the meet as far as points go. And as he was talking about that today, expecting this one to go late. Still at issue towards those final relays. We'll see if that continues. Keep track of it. So 42-35 right now. As you look back at some of the results, we did finalize the diving results with the official scorers up there. And it was Riley McNamara taking the top spot for Centennial. 205.75 his combined score. Luke Elsesser in second for Spring Lake Park with a combined score of 186. Sebastian Santiago took third with a combined 163.80 on the score. And then Mohanad Abu Sara with a combined 148.15, that final score. Double checking from Riley McNamara his first time. So he's been over 200 in each. 215.75 to take second place in that matchup against Champlin Park, going up against the talented senior in Garrett Phillips. He was an all-conference selection last year for Champlin Park. Elsesser, Abu Sara, and Santiago coming in second, fourth, and third behind McNamara. So that was the diving going to Centennial. Knowing that just with one diver they'd give up some points, huge for McNamara to finish in first there for them. 42-35, the overall meet tally. Spring Lake Park got things started quickly with the win in the 200 medley relay for Kratzer, Ripkin, Pravatsky, and Starcevich with a time of 147.98. Sam Clark took the 200 free for Spring Lake Park with a 157.48. Nick Starcevich took first place for Spring Lake Park with a time of 214.22 in the individual medley. Then the 50 freestyle goes to Hunter Belting. Belting with a 50 time of 22:66. So the JV, no, it'll be the varsity. I mentioned that already. Varsity 100-yard fly. They're announcing the final scores from the dive. Lanes 1 through 3 for Spring Lake Park. Lanes 4, 5, and 6 for the Cougars. Carson Holmquist for the Panthers in lane 1. Nolan Hendrickson in lane 2. Will Pravatsky in lane 3. Hunter Belting in this 100 fly in lane 4. Alex Larkin in lane 5. And Quentin Lehman in lane 6. This is the varsity 100 fly. With this match still, this meet rather, still very much hanging in the balance. The lead as they all pop into the stroke. Will Pravatsky in lane 3 with Hunter Belting right there with him. Belting, in fact, closed that before I got it out of my mouth, and he turned early. And Belting has the edge, but this is a barn burner between Pravatsky and Belting right now. Going to come down to some of these turns here in the fly. That's how Belting got out ahead. Third place right now for Alex Larkin in lane 5. Fourth for Quentin Lehman in lane 6. Nolan Hendrickson in lane 2 in 5th. And Carson Holmquist in 6th in lane 1. Belting still nosing out in front. Again, using that good turn to just stay ahead of Pravatsky. Pravatsky already with a win, part of that winning 200 medley relay that got things started. Belting and Pravatsky coming towards the wall, and it will be a reach for Belting. And Belting will outpace Pravatsky with a time of 57:19. 57:19 for Hunter Belting to win, just edging out Pravatsky's 57:88. So first place for Belting, second for Pravatsky. Third place in lane 5 for Alex Larkin with a time of 1:02:15. Fourth place in lane 6 for Quentin Lehman with a time of 1:04:72. Fifth place in lane 2 for Nolan Hendrickson with a time of 1:07:41. And sixth place in lane 1 for Carson Holmquist with a time of 1:16:02. So points for Centennial in 2 of the top 3 spots. And that should narrow it to within 1 as we move to the JV 100 free. But a win for Hunter Belting, his second of the meet. 100-yard freestyle JV. We'll have 6 swimmers. 2 for Spring Lake Park. Eli Becker in lane 2, Grayson Albrecht in lane 3, both 9th graders. Then 8th grader Jacob DeGree in lane 4 for Centennial. 7th grader Blake Dorweiler in lane 5. Garrett Clark in lane 6, also a 7th grader. And Tyler Salata in lane 7 is a 9th grader. Not listed as an exhibition on the sheet. I was told lane 7 would be the exhibition lane. They're not quite up on the board yet. 57:19. And that's 100 fly wins it for Hunter Belting. Still waiting, sorting everything out officially before we get to this 100 free on the JV side. Follow us on all the social media channels at MNTV. It's a good spot to keep touch with what we're covering and win. We'll have the 100 varsity next. We'll not have a JV 500 free today. So just the varsity coming up. But waiting to get the 100-yard JV freestyle underway. Waiting on the JV. They're standing and ready to go, but some of the scoring getting set. We'll have a full pool for the JV race here. Now ready to go. 100-yard JV freestyle race. Lead in lane 3 to get it started. That is Grayson Albrecht, one of the two 9th graders. He's flanked on his right by Eli Becker, another one of the 9th graders running in the JV for Spring Lake Park. They've got the lead out in front of Jacob Degree, the 8th grader for the Cougars. Degree in lane 4, Blake Dorweiler right with him. They're in lane 5. Lane 7, Tyler Salata running a good race, the 9th grader. And Garrett Clark in lane 6. It's the 100 free. It's back they come down the stretch, and Albrecht still with that lead out ahead of his teammate Eli Becker. Degree trying to hold off Dorweiler for 3rd. A couple of Cougars battling for 3rd and 4th as the Panthers battle for 1st and 2nd. And there it goes with Grayson Albrecht finishing what he started. Eli Becker comes in 2nd. Albrecht with a time of 1:09.44. Becker checks in the time of 1:10.38. Cougars take 3rd for Jacob Degree with a time of 1:14.40. 5th place goes to Blake Dorweiler with a time of 1:17.81. 4th place, skipped over that one, Tyler Salata in lane 7 running the exhibition with a time of 1:17.83. And then 6th place rather, the time of 1:22.84 was Garrett Clark in lane 6. So the winning time again in lane 3, Grayson Albrecht with a time of 1:09.44. Panthers running it 1:09.44 for Albrecht and 1:10.38 for Eli Becker. Now the varsity version. With this a 1-point meet so far. Panthers at home with a 47-46 lead through that 100 butterfly. Cougars took 2 of the top 3 spots and 3 of the top 4 spots to help buoy them back within 1 point here. Sean Trutwin will swim the 100 free in lane 1 for Spring Lake Park. Griffin Gaspersic in lane 2. Nick Starcevich in lane 3. For the Cougars, Aiden Gillen in lane 4. Josh Washburn in lane 5. Ben Lohr in lane 6. And the exhibition, Dominic Stevenson in lane 7. Lane 3, Nick Starcevich out to a lead in this 100 freestyle. Starcevich already a win on the day in the 200 individual medley for Spring Lake Park. Earlier in this meet, Starcevich is up ahead in lane 3. He has Aiden Gillen just a nose behind in lane 4. Those two quickly back the other way. Gillen and Starcevich. Starcevich right now battling. There's a battle brewing for third place between Gaspersich in lane 2 and Washburn in lane 5. Crucial points in a tight meet right there. Starcevic appears to have this one. He's half a body length ahead of Aiden Gillen as they come down the stretch. Gillen, though, closing strong, so the times will be close. Gillen touches up for second as Starcevic has his second win of the meet. Third place goes for Gaspersich over in lane 2. And Cougars take fourth and fifth. So Nick Starcevic takes first with a time of 50.87. Second place goes to Aiden Gillen with a time of 51.79. In third place, Griffin Gaspersich with a time of 54.79. In fourth place, Josh Washburn with a time of 57.81. 57.91 for Ben Lohr in fifth place. Sixth place up in lane 1 for Sean Trutwin with a time of 58.13. Winning time again, Nick Starcevic, 50.87. Just edging out Aiden Gillen with a time of 51.79. We'll keep this meet within 3, 56-53 in favor of Spring Lake Park, unofficially there until they get it up on the big board. And we have the 500 freestyle. This is the varsity event of the 500 free. And the early lead in this long race in lane 3 for Sam Clark. Miles Erickson running it in lane 1 for Spring Lake Park. Andrew Weffel in lane 2. Sam Clark, as mentioned, out to the lead. He's in lane 3. Liam Goulet running it in lane 4 for the Cougars. Josh Ardall in lane 5 and Ryan Schaefer in lane 6. So it's Clark out ahead of Goulet here in the 500. Goulet in the 500 took first last Thursday. Pinned up the first time for him of 5:39.04. Cougar record in this was set back in 2017, 4:38.69. For the Cougars, it takes a 5:36.98 to get into the top 10. Meanwhile, the Spring Lake Park record for boys in the 500, 4:50.19. That was set back in 1999 by Anders Finn. The pool record for the 500 free here, set by St. Paul Como Park swimmer in 1984, 4:43.95. So actually the Cougar record all-time set in 2017, even better than both of those. 500 free back in 2017, set by Alex Polinger for Centennial. Still very much a tight race here. Leading swimmers, Sam Clark in lane 3, Liam Goulet behind him in lane 4. Third place, Andrew Weffel in lane 2. Fourth in lane 5 for Josh Ardall. Ryan Schaefer, his teammate, behind him in 5th. And Miles Erickson in 6th over in lane 1. Still Goulet and Clark, with Clark out in front. It's lap number 11 for those two, the leaders, as they're turning back. Clark has opened up the comfortable lead. Goulet just losing touch with the toes there. Points to be had for third place, as that's the battle brewing with lane 2 for Andrew Weffel and lane 5 for Josh Ardall. Ardall just has the edge right now. 3:31.85 was his last split. 3:32.60 was the last split in lane 2. That's how close they are for that third place. And it would appear the Cougars now trying to secure that 5th spot as well. Miles Erickson and Ryan Schaefer in the battle for that right now. In lane 1, Erickson for Spring Lake Park. And in lane 6, both were just on lap 13 there. In that battle for third place, Ardall has opened up the lead. As the leaders nearing the finish here. It's Clark out ahead of Goulet. They're both firmly in their positions, with Clark in first and Goulet in second. Now Ardall about a body length lead in the 5th lane over Andrew Weffel for third place. Cougars trying to secure 2 of the top spots. The bell ringing for Clark in lane 3. As he has just one stretch to go. Goulet has dropped behind him the last split for Liam Goulet, 5:01.38. Chasing his own personal time from the first meet of 5:39.04. Clark headed to the finish. Ardall seemed to secure third. Weffel likely to have fourth, as Clark finishes first with a time of 5:30.20. Goulet second with a 5:34.68. The top 2 finishers are in, with the pool still churning behind him. Strong times for 1 and 2, as Ardall is going to finish third for the Cougars. Josh Ardall with a time of 5:54.23. Second, in the second lane, Andrew Weffel about to finish up for fourth with a time of 6:03.63. And that's 5th place. Final point is up for grabs as Ryan Schaefer towards the edge, facing off against Miles Erickson. And Schaefer will touch just ahead in lane 6 with a time of 6:15.63, just edging out Erickson's 6:16.85. Winning time again in lane 3 for the Panthers, Sam Clark with a 5:30.20. Second place to Liam Goulet, 5:34.68. Third place to Josh Ardall with a 5:54.23. At the top 3 finishers, Andrew Weffel came in fourth. 5th place went to Ryan Schaefer and Miles Erickson in lane 6. So a first place finish for the Panthers, but there was the charge for those final points there to take the 3rd and 5th spots. That will bring us to the JV 200 free. We've got 64-61 up on the board. Miracle of miracles. That matches what I'm doing my best to keep track of here. And it is Spring Lake Park with that 64-61 lead out of the 500 free. Some good top times there. For Goulet, 5:34.68. Betters his opening of the season time by 5 seconds. Sam Clark, strong though, almost 4 seconds better than that for the Panthers. So all of these swimmers putting some times out there to shoot for. 5:34.68. That could be a top 10 for Goulet. We'll double check that. Top 10 list in each as we get the JV 200 freestyle relay. Spring Lake Park in lane 3 with the team of Grayson Albrecht, Eli Becker, Isaac Wicks, and Luke Elsesser. Centennial in lane 4 with Max Shire, Jacob DeGree, Caleb Cregan, and Evan Stokeland. Centennial in lane 5 with Zach Short, Garrett Clark, Tyler Salata, and Blake Dorweiler. Albrecht, the 9th grader, Shire, the sophomore, and Short, the 9th grader, in the pool right now to start the 200 free. Looking at those 500 times all time for Spring Lake Park. 500-yard free. Liam Goulet himself had the number 4 all-time with a 5:08.62 a year ago. Andrew Bliley also set the 2nd best all-time with a 4:53.60. We already told you Alex Palinger had that for the Cougars, the number 1 overall mark. Hunter Belting also set a good time, 5:35.30 last year. And the time just run out by Liam Goulet, 5:34.68, would knock Jonah Carlson out of the top 10 and give Goulet his 2nd top 10 500 free in Centennial history. Second swimmers, Becker, DeGree, and Clark in this JV 200-yard freestyle relay. Check that. This is Wicks, Cregan, and Salata. Elsesser, Stokeland, and Dorweiler. Ready for the anchor legs. Lane 4, Stokeland already churning his way down the pool. Stokeland in first with a time of 1:59.03 for the Shire, DeGree, Cregan, and Stokeland quartet. In lane 3 with a time of 2:08.10. Second place for Albrecht, Becker, Wicks, and Elsesser. And in lane 5, a 2:11.22 for Zach Short, Garrett Clark, Tyler Salata, and Blake Dorweiler. Just confirming the scores there, 64-61, as we're set for the 200 free relay on the varsity side. We'll have 4 teams for varsity. Lane 2 for Spring Lake Park, Nolan Hendrickson, Sean Erdahl, Andrew Weffel, and Miles Erickson. Lane 3, Braden Ripken, Will Pravatsky, and Griffin Gaspersich. Lane 4, Sam Clark. Or Lane 3, rather, still for Sam Clark. 4, 5, and 6 belong to Centennial. Gillen, Condon, Washburn, and Belting in lane 4. Lehman, Lohr, Herbrexmeyer, and Ardall in lane 5. Murray, Herrera, Taylor, and Finnerty in lane 6. And it's lanes 3 and 4, as you'll note. Ripken and Gillen out quickly in this 200 free. Followed quickly in a battle for 3rd place in lane 2. Hendrickson, and lane 5, Lehman for the Cougars. Second swimmers in lane 3 and 4. Will Pravatsky, the junior for Spring Lake Park, and Ben Condon, the sophomore. Pravatsky just the lead. It's a tight race in lanes 2 and 5 as well, as Erdahl and Lohr begin to fight for 3rd place. Pravatsky has already got a couple of individual wins. He'll get the 3rd leg into the pool first. That's Gaspersich. And then Washburn in for Centennial. That battle happening in lanes 3 and 4. Gaspersich staying ahead of Washburn. It'll come down to Sam Clark and Hunter Belting. 3rd place battle as well, with 5 teams there. Belting has some ground to make up on Sam Clark. And they're coming down the stretch. Belting, churning, making up ground. Belting, I don't think it's gonna be enough, but he made up some significant ground there time-wise. 1:36.07, the winning time for the team of Ripken, Pravatsky, Gaspersich, and Clark. 1:37.02 for second place for Gillen, Condon, Washburn, and Belting. 1:44.33 for Lehman, Lohr, Herbricksmeyer, and Ardall. 1:49.18 for Hendrickson, Erdahl, Weffel, and Erickson. And 1:55.81 for Murray, Herrera, Taylor, and Finnerty. .72.67, they say, as the score. So 72 right now for Spring Lake Park, leading here at home as we move from the 200 free relay to the JV 100-yard backstroke. All Centennial Cougars in this JV matchup. Lane 3, Jaden Manthe. Lane 4, Charlie Bryant. Lane 5, Zach Short. Lane 6, Jacob DeGree. Lane 7, Garrett Clark. The 100 backstroke. 3 apiece coming up in the varsity version of this event. The backstroke, the breaststroke, and then the freestyle relay, of which we'll just have a varsity version. Still to come. The leader in the JV backstroke, Jacob DeGree in lane 6. Garrett Clark, not listed as an exhibition, so he's running in lane 7. He's actually running in 3rd as lane 5, Zach Short. Touch to lanes 5 and 6. Right now where this all Cougar JV battle is brewing. 72-67 is the varsity meet score right now. 94 the magic number for a team to get to. That's when they stop tallying the points. And the Cougars have been playing catch-up to Spring Lake Park as the Panthers got off to a strong start. First place finishes 200 medley relay, the 200 freestyle, the 200 individual medley right out of the gates. Winning time in lane 4. This JV 100 backstroke for Charlie Bryant. A time of 1:30.81. Second place, Zach Short with a time of 1:31.03. Third place in lane 6, Jacob DeGree with a time of 1:32.05. Fourth place in lane 7 with a time of 1:33.15 is Garrett Clark. And Jaden Manthe with a time of 1:38.18. Here's the 100 backstroke. The 3 Spring Lake Park swimmers. The varsity side in lane 1, Carson Holmquist. In lane 2, Sean Trutwin. In lane 3, Nathan Krotzer. The 3 Cougar swimmers. In lane 4, George Atkinson. In lane 5, Ben Condon. And in lane 6, Dominic Stevenson. Again, just 3 more varsity events remaining. Off in the 100 backstroke. And these teams all know just how close things are. Lane 3, Nathan Krotzer. He's just out ahead of George Atkinson. That's the battle for first. Right now, Sean Trutwin is hanging on to 3rd place. He's just ahead of Dominic Stevenson all the way across in lane 6. 4th place, that's a fight between Ben Condon in lane 5 and Carson Holmquist. And I make that, yeah, Carson Holmquist in lane 1. Still the lead for Nathan Krotzer. Kreutzer out ahead of Atkinson. They'll finish 1-2. Looks like third place will also go to Trutwin. First place to Kreutzer. Second place to Atkinson. Third place to Trutwin. Fourth place, fourth and fifth still up for grabs. Fourth place to the Cougars and Dominic Stevenson. Fifth place to Ben Condon. Getting that last point as Carson Holmquist comes in sixth. Atkinson second with a time of 1:02.85. The winning time, though, 59.86 for Nathan Kreutzer. And Spring Lake Park will take first. Atkinson, that time again, 1:02.86. Third place was to Trutwin. As we move to the JV breaststroke. Isaac Wicks in lane 3 for Spring Lake Park, then 3 Centennial swimmers. Joseph Murray in lane 4, Blake Dorweiler in lane 5, and Derek Finnerty in lane 6. It's a lead early for Joseph Murray in this JV. 81-74, the updated point total. Still in favor of Spring Lake Park. With 2 varsity events to go, the breaststroke and the 400 free. The lead maintained in lane 4 by Charlie Bryant. Second place, Jaden Manthe in lane 3. Excuse me, wrong race. Joseph Murray in lane 4, Isaac Wicks in lane 3. Wicks, the only Spring Lake Park swimmer. Blake Dorweiler trying to run him down in lane 5, and Derek Finnerty swimming in lane 6. Murray fighting for a time now, as he will take first place there in lane 4. Finishing with the time of 1:30.17. Second place is going to go to Isaac Wicks. Junior varsity 100 breaststroke, 1:39.46. And Blake Dorweiler in third with a time of 1:44.46. Derek Finnerty will finish up with a time of 1:55.58. So Isaac Wicks in second for the Panthers, top scorer in that JV with a 1:39.46. And Joseph Murray takes it with a time of 1:30.17. On to the 100-yard varsity breaststroke. Just 2 more overall events because we don't have a JV 400 free. So the final 2 events coming up with Spring Lake Park up 81-74. Sean Erdahl in lane 1 for this 100 breaststroke. Braden Ripken for the Panthers in lane 2. Will Pravatsky in lane 3. Max Shire in lane 4. Ben Lohr in lane 5. These for the Cougars. Ryan Schaefer in lane 6. And then Evan Stokeland is running an exhibition in lane 7. 81-74. 7 points separate the Panthers and the Cougars. Panthers got off to a great start with some early first place finishes. Cougars have been fighting their way back ever since. Coming down to the final 2 races. Long time under for Will Pravatsky, trying to get another win himself. And for the team. Pravatsky part of the winning 200 freestyle relay already in this. He does have the lead. It's his teammate battling him for second. Braden Ripken to his right in lane 2. Max Shire also trying to track him down for the Cougars. Those 3 are out ahead of the pack. Lanes 2, 3, and 4. And right now it's lanes 2 and 3 with Ripken and Pravatsky opening up that lead. And if that could hold, that will go a long way to securing things headed to the final event for the Panthers. The battle right now definitely in this 100-yard breaststroke just for second. Will Pravatsky, pump three. Pravatsky into the wall with a time of 1:05.73. Second place with a time of 1:09.07 for Braden Ripken. Third place for Max Shire with a time of 1:10.07. Fourth place goes to the Panthers as well. Crucial points there for Sean Erdahl. Ben Lohr takes fifth for the Cougars. Sixth place for Schaefer. Lohr with a final time of 1:21.61. Schaefer with a 1:22.62. $93.74. The final, or the tally out of that. So you got to get to 94. So the Cougars, and the math, I don't think works out in their favor. They'll still tally it up here. They only stop counting after 94. And we go to our final event of the night, the 400 freestyle relay. Spring Lake Park with two teams. In lane 2, Weffel, Erickson, Holmquist, and Trutwin. In lane 3, Clark, Gaspersich, and Krotzer. Cougars with three teams. In lane 4, Belting, Atkinson, Goulet, and Gillen. Herbrixmeyer, Stevenson, Larkin, and Ardal in lane 5, Cregan, Taylor, Herrera, and Schaefer in lane 6. Early lead for Clark in lane 3. Belting driving in on him here in this 400 free relay. Third place right now belongs to Weffel in lane 2. Herbrixmeyer swimming in 4th in lane 5. And Cregan in 5th in lane 6. Clark still the lead. Second swimmer, Gaspersich in lane 3. Goulet in lane 4. Excuse me, that's Atkinson, the second swimmer. Still that battle in lane 3 and 4. Gaspersich and Atkinson. Gaspersich opening up the lead. He'll turn for his final 25-meter stretch. Any points, give it to the Panthers here. 93-78, they lead the meets. And a final time of 1:45.52 takes first place for Clark, Gaspersich. Excuse me, that wasn't the final swimmer. That's the final leg time for Krotzer. Make that for Gaspersich. Krotzer in now. Goulet is in the pool swimming the third for that lane 4 team of Belting, Atkinson, Goulet, and Gillen. They are in second, trailing behind that squad in lane 4. Starcevic waiting for his chance. He has had a great meet to this point. Nick Starcevic winning the 100-yard free. Also the 200 individual medley. And he helped bring home the 200 medley relay, the anchor leg there. He'll anchor this one. to try and emphatically bring this meet home for the home-standing Spring Lake Park Panthers. Aiden Gillen running in second for the Cougars in lane 4. This was going to be a tightly contested meet all throughout. It was that. Strong showing in that 100-yard breaststroke, taking 2 of the top 3 spots, 3 of the top 4. And now a win in the 400 free for Clark, Gaspersic, Krotzer, and Starcevic with a time of 3:36.82. Second place to Belting, Atkinson, Kool-Aid, and Gillen with a time of 3:41.42. Third place coming in lane 5. Ardall down the stretch. Cougars take third with a time of 4:04.28 for Herbricks, Meyer, Stevenson, Larkin, and Ardall. Fourth place over in lane 2 for Weffel, Erickson, Holmquist, and Trutwin with a time of 4:12.93. And Schaefer brings home a final time of 4:27.19 in lane 6 for the team of Cregan, Taylor, Herrera, and Schaefer. So that would set a final tally at 101.86. 93.78 coming in, and Spring Lake Park will win this meet over the Centennial Cougars. Don't forget, go to NorthMetroTV.com to find what we're covering, when we're covering, and where you can watch it next on a busy, busy winter sports season. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all the swimmers and the coaches for all the information. Thanks to Rand on the camera here and Katie back in the studio. I'm J.W. Cox. Once again, Spring Lake Park gets this Northwest Suburban Conference swim meet victory over Centennial in a tight, hard-fought matchup all throughout. We'll have more NorthMetroTV.com. More on Sportston every Monday, and more right here wherever you're pulling us in. North Metro TV coverage of high school sports. Good night, everybody.